I was not healthy for a large part of that journey. Realized that I had found my passion. So I was competing as a 40 plus competitor.
You are living what you're teaching, which is so important.
FLY is an acronym and it stands for First Love Yourself. Everything changes.
If I lifted weights all day, I'm still not going to look like you. It is an unbelievable amount of work for a woman to have a masculine physique.
If you can fine tune your nutrition, that is a great way to kickstart your health journey.
Good afternoon, Slay family. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our special guest today, tuning in from Virginia, and that is Dr. Daphne Bascom. Dr. Bascom has a background as a physician, as a fitness coach. She's been a fitness competitor and is a fountain of information on nutrition. She is a passionate advocate for women over 40, helping them to live their best life with her FLY philosophy. FLY, you will hear about today, is First Love Yourself. So we're going to deep dive into a conversation about mindset, movement, nutrition, and all things to help you live your very best life. So with that, I'd love to welcome Dr. Daphne Bascom.
I did that. So I'll be honest with you, I was not healthy for a large part of that journey. Just, you know what it's like in terms of you're investing in your career, you're growing your career, and sometimes your health, your relationships, other things start to take a back seat.
Mm.
And throughout the next 10 years or so, was able to have multiple careers in healthcare IT, ended up working at the Cleveland Clinic and was there working, implementing their electronic health record, and discovered wellness by working in the Wellness Institute with Dr. Michael Roizen, and realized that I had found my passion. And so have since wed my love for healthcare, for technology, for wellness, and also community, because I really came to understand that health starts at home and health starts in the community and health starts with the individual. So I just have morphed myself over the years as my interests have expanded, but it's always been the pillars of health, prevention, technology, and now focusing on women.
And you not only focus on women, but you have specifically focused on women that are 40 plus, and you have this awesome FLY philosophy. So can you share with everyone what your FLY philosophy is?
I do. So before I share about FLY,
Mhm.
let me also share that at this stage of my life, I'm actually not working as a physician. I'm a full-time health coach with the Vegan Gym.
Mhm.
The Vegan Gym is the world's largest and best online vegan health and fitness coaching company. And our mission is to help 1 million vegans get in the best shape of their lives, because it's through that, by having more healthy, fit vegans, that we will be able to help veganism spread.
Well, I want to take a second then before we go into FLY and just say you are in phenomenal shape. It's just mind blowing. You're in such fantastic shape. So people can go to your social media and see. And I saw, of course, pictures of you on stage. So you've done a little competing as well.
Yes, I left that out of the short journey. So I started competing when I was 40. Uh, I was going through a divorce, decided it was time to invest in myself.
Mhm.
So spent some time with a personal trainer who was also a competitor, and I was bit with the stage bug and spent the next 10 years doing um, physique, mainly figure, and then went to bikini. So I was competing as a 40 plus competitor.
And you were killing it too. I mean, you look amazing. Most women over 40 would die in complete fear at the thought of having to do something like that. And you look phenomenal. So clearly, when it comes to all the things we're going to dive into today, you are living what you're teaching, which is so important. But I don't want to forget the FLY philosophy. So let's touch on that really quickly.
So FLY is an acronym and it stands for First Love Yourself. And it was actually part of a course that My CEO and I deliver a master class to our community every week.
Mm.
And right before, actually, it was on Valentine's Day, I wanted to do something that was tied to love, but first wanted to make sure that people understood that you have to love yourself first. So, fly as it applies to over 40 means that you have to embrace where you are in life with gratitude, with understanding, and you have to know that self love is a continuous journey. And I think it's important because when we love and respect ourselves, we set the standards for how others treat us and how we allow others to treat us and how we treat them. So, this kind of mutual respect is, I think, very important in relationships, but it has to start with loving yourself first.
Excellent. And you are obviously with the vegan gym, and you are a big advocate for nutrition and the plant-based diets. Would you take a second and say why, particularly for women 40 plus, that has advantages, benefits? What's the value for them to take that approach?
So, I would say, first of all, I'm plant positive, or I'll say plant positive, for health, for the animals, and for the environment.
Mm.
And the reasons why you may want to add more plants to your plate, they can be varied. It can be ethical reasons, or it can be health focused reasons. For women 40 and above, and I'm going to back it up and say 35,
Okay.
because I feel strongly that you set the foundation for your 40s and 50s and your 30s. And
Mm.
it's just not something that we're taught
Yeah.
until we're in our 50s. But adopting a plant positive attitude toward your nutrition, and I'm saying add more plants to your plate, regardless of who you are,
Mhm.
you can improve your heart health. You can lower the risk of certain cancers. It can help you with weight management. Uh, for women who are in perimenopause or menopause, there's plenty of data to suggest that a plant-based diet can help manage the symptoms such as hot flashes. It can help mood swings. And this is mainly due to phytoestrogens. So these are um, plant-based estrogen-like compounds that are found in foods like soy. And I, just want to share that for those of you that may want to learn, there's a great book by Dr. Neil Barnard, and it's called Your Body in Balance. And Dr. Barnard talks a lot about the benefits of plant-based nutrition for women of our age. The other thing
Mhm.
is, I would, I think that most of us women in the 40s and probably people in the United States in general are fiber deficient. And so eating plant-based is a great way to add more fiber to your diet, which can help your microbiome, it can help your digestion, and
Mm.
it can also help you maintain a healthy weight.
So I'm going to start by asking questions probably going to come up in the end, but since we're here, I've got to just ask you this.
Sure.
I know a lot of people who are new to the plant-based world. There are women who often have fear or concern around soy.
Yeah.
So since you mentioned that, I hope you don't mind if we divert for a quick second, then we're going to back to where we were. Can you take a second and share a little bit about soy? Is that a concern? You hear things with women who have breast cancer. Can you address that? So you're certainly, between your medical background as a physician and your background as a trainer, very well equipped to talk about this.
So, and thank you for asking, Leanne, because I do think it's helpful to help alleviate some of the misconceptions about soy. And when you think soy, think edamame, think tofu, tempeh. Back when I was training, there were some concerns that products, foods that had phytoestrogens, so these estrogen type compounds
Mhm.
could actually have negative impacts on women who have breast cancer. You've also probably read, people, men in particular, who maybe consumed excess soy and had some developed um, more masculine breast tissue. Everything changes. As we've advanced our understanding of science, we now understand that one, soy and phytoestrogens can actually be protective. And
Mm.
whether you're reading the literature from Dr. Bernard, Dr. Christy Funk from the Peak Lotus Foundation, there are ample data to suggest that one, women who have breast cancer or who have a risk of breast cancer should not be afraid of soy. And in fact, it's a definite positive to add to their plate. Two, there are data to suggest that um, children, young girls who are plant-based and eating plant-based foods that have phytoestrogens may develop some protective effects that may reduce their risk of breast cancer as they grow older. The other thing is that these phytoestrogens have other positive effects systemically. So I really try and encourage women, and happy to share some links to scientific evidence that you can share with your community that soy is okay to eat.
Great. I really appreciate it. And those links will come in super handy. So we're talking a little bit about nutrition and the plant-based aspect of it. Then there's also fitness and specifically weightlifting as a form of fitness. What are the elements of that that make a difference, not only for women, we'll go 35 plus, but also does that have any positive influence or impact if people are going through menopause?
It does. So if you take anything away from today's conversation, ladies, lift heavy. Don't be afraid, whether you're lifting at home or lifting in the gym, you're not going to grow big muscles. So strength training is vital for women. And I'm going to say 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You need to continue to use your muscles. And why is that important? One, you want to age gracefully, and you want to age in place, and you want to age without risk of falls, without risk of fractures, and you want to retain as much strength as you can so that you can also age independently.
Mm.
One of the benefits, growing old we are graced to grow old because the alternative is not fun. But you don't want to lose muscle mass as you grow older. Muscle mass will decline as a byproduct of growing older. I think I want to say 6 to 10%, or I may get my numbers wrong, over the age of 40. It's exacerbated by the decline in estrogen that occurs as we're going through perimenopause and menopause. So estrogen is one of those hormones that can help maintain our lean muscle mass. And as we lose the estrogen, as we go through menopause, our fast twitch muscle fibers decrease in number and size. So we need to, one, be lifting heavy weights and not being afraid to lift heavy weights. It's great for your muscles, it's great for your bone, it's great for your posture, it's great for your self-confidence. You also need to be interjecting when possible a little bit of plyometrics, some things that you're getting your heart rate up, whether it's skipping, jumping, something that will activate some of those fast twitch fibers. That's another important part of retaining the muscle for women over 40. The other reason it's important is that muscle is, to me, it's metabolically active, which means that the more muscle you have, the more that your engine is turning over, you're burning basal energy, and it can also help with weight maintenance.
Excellent. So in other words, if you have more muscle, you're also less likely to fall, less
Yep,
likely to be hurt if you fall,
yep,
probably stay in better shape, and
exactly.
pretty much everything that everybody wants all at once. But and I laugh because I've known some women who are like, oh, I don't want to get muscular. I just got to tell you,
It's
if I lifted weights all day, I'm still not going to look like you. It is an unbelievable amount of work for a woman to have a masculine physique. And you don't have one, so let's be very clear on that. But to get really muscular is one thing. And some women worry about looking like a man. I'm like, I would die just to look like you. And you look like a phenomenal woman. You don't look like a man at all. Getting to the point where you look masculine, people are training for like hours and hours a day and watching every single thing they eat, aren't they?
there, as long as you are natural. So I've always trained naturally.
Mhm.
Um, the risk of you having growing muscle to the point where you look masculine it's low. Um, y- and I know you know, so Leanne, you train hard and I train hard. I I work hard for every single muscle fiber that I have, and retaining it takes more time and energy over time. So I encourage women to adopt a some type of consistent way of incorporating resistance training into their lifestyle early. And it doesn't mean you have to go to a gym. You can do body weight exercises. You can do push-ups. You can do squats. You can do many different things. Even if you're just out on the playground with your kiddos, you can train just using your body weight. We both know that a really hard workout give you 6 feet of space, give you a mat, and you can work the major muscle groups in your body. But you need to be challenging yourself, and there's no risk of looking masculine.
No, I mean, it is, I just want to look like you when I grow up. I just got to be honest, you know.
That's kind of you.
Yeah, so I mean, I think a woman who is defined looks amazing, but that doesn't make you masculine at all. Like masculine's a whole nother, maybe some of the people who do CrossFit are, but that's a whole nother level of working out. So for the rest of us normal people, lifting weights and maintaining muscle and keeping our strength up is great. But you've also talked a lot about educating yourself on menopause. And it's really interesting. There's very little education for the masses, and most women just kind of seem to drift into it, and maybe they have a mom or sister they talk to, but that's about the extent of it. How would you say it's important for someone to do this? How should they educate themselves? And what are things that are important for them to know?
Oh, well, first of all, I would love to invite them to join our menopause mastery course
Mm.
because the one of my goals is helping to educate and empower women about their health in general. So it's fascinating because I don't know if you remember years ago reading the book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Yes.
As little girls, we learned about our periods. And then as we're getting older, we learn about pregnancy. And it's like everything stops after that because I never learned about menopause. And unless you have women in your life who are informed and able to share, it really hasn't been, in my opinion, in the common vernacular for most of women in the United States or globally. Although now we're seeing much more conversation about it because we are a large proportion of the population. We are becoming more vocal. And I think it's imperative that women in their 40s start to understand because you can proactively plan for how you're going to age gracefully. And that's the goal. There's, I mean, in the past, I would say there was a stigma about menopause where it was just maybe perceived as you're old or you're past your prime or what is, what are you contributing. But I think I see this as an opportunity for us to lead the second half of our lives as even more productive as the first 50 years. So whether you're talking to your gynecologist about menopause, whether you're attending courses or coming on webinars like Leanne hosts to understand about a woman's body, about what you can do. The other thing I want to say, if for those of you who may be plant-based or plant positive and you listen to Rich Roll, Rich Roll just interviewed Dr. Lisa Mosconi, and Dr. Mosconi is one of the preeminent leaders in understanding the women's brain, the role of how changing hormones may impact how we age, our risk of dementia, Alzheimer's disease. So the more we're understanding, the more women are part of research and science, the more we're able to educate us about our own bodies and about what we can do to stay healthy and enhance our longevity.
It's so interesting you said that because it never occurred to me before. And I remember when I got pregnant, everybody reads what to expect when you're expecting. You're right. And then it just, it
Stop.
stops. That's
You're
the end.
done.
Okay. Don't know anything else after that. Now, you've also mentioned aging gracefully, and there's a mindset factor to that. How do you feel that mindset plays into that aging gracefully process?
Mindset is key. So the framework that I use for coaching, I call it the three M's, and we focus on meals, movement, mindset, sleep, stress, and social connection. And I feel that mindset is foundational for how we navigate our 40s and beyond. And partly it's because we need to develop resilience, we need to develop positivity, and we need to be open to change. There, there's nothing wrong with growing old. And you can control how you grow old and how you grow old with grace. It means focusing on what you can control, your attitude,
Mhm.
how you care for your body, the kindness you show yourself and the kindness you show to others. You need to stay curious about what you can do. You need to, you need to remove the limiting beliefs that a number defines who you are,
Yeah.
because that is not the case. You define who you are by your ability to continue to tackle all the things that lie in front of you, and for which now you have these years of strength, these years of resilience that you can bring to say, I can do anything.
It's amazing how much things have changed. I mean, I remember my mom's generation, nobody lifted weights or did anything like that, and a lot of women do. Now, I've been following some people on Instagram. There's a woman I'm following, she's 92, and you see her go into the gym.
Yep.
It's just incredible, like
Yeah.
92, and she's on the machines. I mean, she's not playing around. She's on the machines working out. It's wild. So I think things are really shifting in a lot of different ways. And, it's great to see that you've been able to do so much to help women transform, being an advocate for all this. Would you mind sharing maybe a success story of, I'm sure you have a million of them, but pick one of someone that you have coached and helped go through this process?
So first of all, I need to thank all the women that I get to work with because it is a blessing. I mean, I've always, when I was practicing, I felt that it was a privilege for people to
Hmm.
come into my office and allow me to care for them. And I feel the same way with the people who open their lives to me to coach, because coaching really touches people's lives holistically.
Yes.
the I had the pleasure of interviewing one of my clients. Her name's Janine, and I can share it's a podcast, so I'm
Great.
not sharing anything that she hasn't already shared openly.
Okay.
And Janine is she's over 60,
Mhm.
and her journey was first becoming plant-based, and then it was, she was someone who had not been in the gym. She was someone who was really trying to understand how to navigate 50s into 60s, and she has just blossomed. She had a significant body recomposition in terms of losing weight, gaining muscle. She's now leg pressing 200 plus pounds and more. She is in the gym. Yes. I mean, this is a woman who
That's
has
no joke.
children. She's an entrepreneur. She works full time for her own business, but she makes time every day to focus on her mind, her body, and her spirit.
That's incredible. I'm still stuck on the leg press. So if someone is going to start on that journey, obviously you have stories like that where women have had amazing success. What are some of the first maybe daily activities that you would say start with this? Because not everyone's going to dive in and try and tackle it all at once. So what are the first daily activities or suggestions you would tell someone to start with?
So that's a great question. And everyone's different. Um, and part of it depends on, so I like to meet you where you are,
Mhm.
if and determine what your priorities are. One of the nutrition is foundation. And so if you can, going back to the three M's, if you think about your meals and what you're putting in your body, that's fueling your body. And so I always encourage people to start by examining what they're eating, where their food's coming from, trying to add as many plants to their plate as possible. But if you can fine tune your nutrition, that is a great way to kickstart your health journey.
Mm,
Another
excellent.
Another easy one is movement. And that can be 5 minutes a day of just going out and getting in the sunshine. Um, I have a habit tracker that I think I'm over 600 days where I force myself every day to get outside and move. And it has to be outside in order for me to tick my box because you get the benefits of being outside, you get the benefits of moving. You don't have to run, you can walk. And if you are able to walk with someone else, then you also get that social connection, which I think is really important.
That's fantastic. And there's also, for people a lot of now work at home, there's that break of getting away from
You
your
have
desk
to,
and Zoom and the phone,
yeah,
and so many people are working remotely nowadays. So that's kind of probably a good mental break too,
you need the mental break.
for sure.
And then the other book I have behind me somewhere. So I am a big believer in consistency. So I love James Clear's book Atomic Habits. We're actually reading it as a team right now because consistent behavior allows you to get results. It's not doing the big things that will get you results. It's doing the small things, but doing them consistently. So I always encourage people who are trying to make lifestyle changes to you don't have to go and throw everything out the fridge. You don't have to go and buy a gym membership. Start slow and do things consistently, and it will be sustained and you will see results over time.
I'm so glad you shared that because a lot of people have that impulse to go, that's it. From here on, I'm going to
Yep.
be perfect. And that never does work. So, what if someone is embarking? What do you think are some of the challenges that they should anticipate? Because I feel like if you know going into something what obstacles or challenges you're going to hit, it always makes it a little easier to be prepared and handle them. What do you think the things are that people will face?
Well, you actually said one of them, which is perfection. So I call it perfection paralysis, where you have this
Right.
black and white. I'm either doing it or I'm not. I'm either doing it perfect or I'm not doing it at all. There is no perfection. So that is one of the biggest challenges I see, especially in women, I'll be honest, where it becomes this, if I can't do it perfect, I don't want to do it at all. Or if I can't start perfectly, I'm not going to start.
Mm.
Get rid of stop the perfection paralysis and just do it. We're never going to be perfect. The next challenge is going to be life. Whether you're a businesswoman like you are, a mom, a wife, a daughter, there's always going to be life that gets in the way. And it may mean that there's a week when you don't get to work out, you don't get to maybe prep your meals, you don't get your sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. That's okay. Life is going to get in the way. It's the consistency over time that you need to understand. That's where you're going to see and derive the long-term benefits. So you need to understand that there's no perfection, that life is going to get in the way. And the other challenge is your own limiting beliefs about what you can and can't do. And you need to have someone like me who can push you up the hill and
Yes.
tell you that you can. Um, there's no limits.
It's so important to have somebody that is a combination, I think, of a coach and an accountability person. Because, look, no matter how hard you try, you're right, life gets in the way. So I try to work out all the time. Well, I just went on a business trip. So I was gone for the last few days, didn't get to lift weights, didn't do a whole lot of sleeping, and managed to somehow eat the best I could there,
Yep,
but not like when I'm at home and I meal prep. And in the past, I used to get really frustrated when that happened. And now I'm like, oh, okay, it'll be 3 days and then I'm back on the horse, as they say. So,
exactly.
but I've had somebody who kind of got that trained into my brain because I was one of those perfectionist people that you were talking about. So you bring not only the value to your clients of knowledge, a game plan, information strategy, but also the balance of encouraging them and not letting them beat themselves up. And women, we're good at that, aren't we?
We are, well, so the other thing that goes with beating yourself up is putting others first, which goes back to fly. Um, and I was talking with texting with one of my clients the other day because I told her every time you say yes to someone else, you're saying no to you. And
Mm,
it's not being selfish, but you have to fill your cup. Your cup has to be filled. You have to be energized for you to give back to the people that you are trying to care for. So I think it's important that you don't look at the time that you carve out to go to the gym, to work out, to go for a walk, to go grocery shopping. That's going to be given back in spades to everyone that you love. But more importantly, you have to love yourself.
outstanding. And looking forward with all the things that you've accomplished, because wow, surgeon, fitness competitor. I mean, you do everything. I think you could jump out of a phone booth and be Wonder Woman too, right? Just
Wonder
like
Woman's one of my heroes.
it's my hero too. But with all of that, what are the things that you see looking forward? What are the things that you see, changes for women that you're
Mhm.
excited about either happening or being a part of those things happening?
Things like this, Slay. I am seeing women coming into their own and really having a voice.
Mm,
So part of what I'm seeing from an industry perspective is a focus on women, on a women's health, whether it's perimenopause, menopause. I'm seeing that there are more research studies, whether it's basic science research, research on drugs, research on different types of health outcomes that are now including women. So we have a better understanding even of what our own physiology will be short and long term. I think that there's more of a focus on holistic health. So, mind, body, spirit, and knowing that women are frequently at the center of being the caregivers in their home. There's also a focus on making sure if the woman is healthy, it's more likely the husband is healthy, the children are healthy, the parents are healthy, because we are frequently caregivers for many people in our circle.
yes. I
So I,
leave, they eat Domino's all weekend. That's what happens.
yep, exactly. When mom's not there,
Oh my goodness. Okay, so one of the things I was really excited about is that you have agreed to take a few questions today before we wrap up.
sure.
And I can, pick a few if you'd like, or you can look at the group and pick a few. How would you like to do that?
Do you want to pick a few? I just let my iPad close. Sorry.
Second here. Let's see. We've got if you are watching us live today and you're in the Facebook group, there is a Facebook group for Slay, by the way. If you are live and you have any questions, we're going to have Doctor here. Let's see what we've got going on. Oh, there's all kinds of comments. Hallelujah was the first comment we've got in here. So if anybody has a question that you'd like to ask, let's see if we can go from here. I had one that was, oh, somebody asked a question. They just texted me. What would you say about osteoporosis? What's the advice on trying to steer away from that? Specifically, we've talked about a lot. What do you think are the strongest strategies for avoiding osteoporosis?
Nutrition, physical activity. So making sure you are eating, I'm going to say whole food plant-based because that I think is the best nutritional pathway you can take. Making sure that you are, if you are at risk or you have a family history, that you are getting your screening examination. So know your risk.
Okay.
Weight bearing exercise is awesome to help load your bones and reduce your risk of osteopenia and osteoporosis. You want to capitalize on your estrogen as long as you have it. So, again, being in the gym in your 40s, 50s, you can't you can't underestimate the value of kind of that area under the curve for what you invest in yourself in terms of your bone health.
Mm,
If you are living in north of the equator, the other thing is talk to your healthcare team to make sure your vitamin D levels are appropriate because many of us are a little under vitamin D because you're sitting indoors like I am every day. But if you can get out in the sunshine with your skin, with your sun protection, you definitely can make your own vitamin D. But if not, you want to have a vitamin D supplement as part of your nutrition regimen. So nutrition, movement, preventative care, and then making sure that you have these conversations with your healthcare team if you are at risk.
And then women are predominantly the ones more that end up having dementia, I believe the statistics say. Are the same factors for dementia in the same order? What would your thoughts be on that?
So I'm not an expert in this area, but and I would definitely encourage you to read. So I'm a huge fan of Dr. Mosconi. She wrote The Excess Brain. She actually has a book coming out next week, maybe, called The Menopause Brain.
Okay.
Part of the concern with, so there used to be the thought, is my understanding, that there were more women with dementia because we lived longer. What they're finding is that is not the case, and that some of it has to do with the changes that occur in the brain related to the changes in estrogen. So understanding and how having the conversations with your healthcare team as you're going through perimenopause and menopause related to the decline in estrogen that you're experiencing, having conversations around hormone replacement therapy, if that is right for you, and it is not right for everyone. Are there some brain protective effects of that? I don't think we know yet,
Hmm.
but I do know that there is so much that research that's coming out around a woman's brain, around what we may be able to do to help us from nutrition, again, going back to the 3 M's: meals, movement, mindset, sleep, stress, in order to minimize stress, optimize our hormone health. They can hopefully protect us from having those cognitive impacts downstream.
Excellent. And somebody asked, what was the name of the book on consistency again that you recommended?
So I was referring to Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Great. Okay, let me see if there's any more before we wrap up. Hold on one second. Give me a quick second here. Technology is so fun, isn't it?
I apologize. I let my iPad lock while we were chatting.
Nope, that's fine because we're in the same boat here. Hold on 1 minute. It just kicked me out really quickly. So hold on a second. If you are live, bear with us, bear with us. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're getting value out of it and you're in the group live, then I would highly recommend that you share this with another woman who's 40 plus, because it'll be up on YouTube in about a week. Okay, let's see. Last but not least, bear with me, doctor. It kicked me out of the group real quick.
That's okay.
I was playing around, so hold on.
I'll make a plug. I brought some books with me. So
Yes, please. Okay.
if anyone is interested in a nice evidence-based book regarding plant-based nutrition, I would recommend Simon Hill's book, The Proof is in the Plants. Excellent book, very readable. It talks about all of the things we just had a great conversation about. Thank you, Leanne. But Simon also talks about why eating more plants is good for the environment and good for animals.
Excellent. Okay, and then last but not least, you. So you are a fountain of information. You're the fountain and waterfall of information. You have a ton of information, a ton of experience. If somebody wants to learn from you, what are all the different ways? So I don't mean to intrude in your world, but could you share your social media? Obviously, the vegan gym. Do you have coaching opportunities, master classes? What are any and all of the different ways someone could follow you, learn from you, or even potentially have you as their coach?
Well, thank you for asking. So 2 venues. One would be through the vegan gym, which you can find us online, www.thevegangym.com. I would actually encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. We post a lot of free content. So our goal is to give back because we want you to be educated and empowered. And on Sunday, Leif, our CEO, put up a great YouTube video on meal prep for menopause. So if you have a chance to go out and look at that, it's easy meals, tasty meals, and they're all with a focus on optimizing our hormone health during perimenopause and menopause. So YouTube is a great place to find us. I'll also share with Leanne, we're about to launch another menopause mastery course. It's an 8-week course that I facilitate every Saturday where we go through a full curriculum on, I give you the foundation of your hormone health. We talk about sleep, we talk about stress, we talk about xenoestrogens, we talk about weight management. It's just fun to come together with lots of fascinating women who are sharing their own health journey.
And how does somebody participate in that or register for that?
I will have to, there's a long link. I can send you the link though, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. We could post it in the Facebook group and we'll
Okay.
post it on the YouTube video as well.
And for me directly, you can go to, I'm at Wingman Daphne on Instagram. Wingman came from my dad, who always called me his wingman. And you can also email me at daphne@thevegangym.com.
Excellent. And I would really love to say that that YouTube channel is fantastic. As a matter of fact, I had a breakfast this morning that was from one of his meal prep videos.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it was really great. And a lot, what I like about it is he's very practical. So just, really quickly, meal prep for busy women is everything. I mean, it's the only way I
Yes.
can eat well. I have to
Yeah.
make everything, but I loved his attitude because he doesn't want to spend the whole day in the kitchen. And it was
He
wild. He
does.
does things kind of out of order. He's like, well, I'll put this in even though it's part of dinner. And then I'm making breakfast while that's baking. And he does it in an incredibly efficient way. And the ingredients are all really designed to taste great and they're not expensive. They're not difficult to find. So there's some fantastic things. I had the sunflower bananas crunch thing this morning. Have you ever
Oh,
had
yes. It's
that?
delicious.
Really good.
Yeah. So we have a vegan gym cookbook. Most of the recipes are on our website. So along with the nutrient value, shopping list. So it's all available out there if you're interested in giving them a try.
Excellent. So I want to just thank you so much. I know you are incredibly busy and taking all this time today is really generous and kind of you. And I know so many people are going to benefit. So just thank you for your knowledge and your commitment to women and your commitment to even manage to love yourself first, but still make the time to love other women and help them.
Thank you. Lan, thanks for the opportunity for sharing what I love to do with your community. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. And if you want to be inspired, check her out on her social media because it just makes me want to eat better and work out more. She's my idol. I'm just saying she looks incredible and doing it the right way. That's the most important thing. Looking great, being strong, and doing it through healthy ways, not under eating, not
Oh,
doing
no,
crazy stuff. I mean, you are
I
a
love food.
perfect. I love food too, but you're a great role model for how a woman can be strong, healthy, and do it correctly and feel great about herself. So thanks for being a role model for us all.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, we will be back next week. Take care and leave some extra comments. If you watch this later, feel free to leave comments or questions. And I'm sure that she'll be kind enough to pop back in and answer any of them for us. And we'll put all of her contact information and her link for her course in the group as well. So take care, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.